So you've got all your winter projects figured out. You know what you're going to do, but now you got to figure out what order to do them in. Let's talk about the best way to prioritize that. And let's be honest, we know that oftentimes we've got multiple cars we're working on. The Monte Carlo, the Riviera, the engineless 64 Buick Special. How the heck do you prioritize what gets done when? I got answers. Now, the first thing I'm going to recommend is start with things that impact safety. Brakes, suspension components that are worn beyond belief. If you've got a race car, now's a good time to start thinking about, are your belts up to date? Are all your SFI components up to date? Do I need to put a cage in this thing? These are all things that are worth asking because, we don't want to, meet our untimely end playing with our hot rods. We want to be able to live to enjoy them. So think about the safety things first. And on the subject of safety, if you've gone through and done a whole bunch of things like rebuilt the suspension and brakes, now might be a good time to go take a look at those things and make sure they're holding up right. Okay, let's say you've addressed all the safety items you need to address, or there really weren't any to take care of. That's a possibility too. So what next? Well, my next move is going to be taking care of things that make the car drive right, run right, go down the road right. That can be things like U-joints, carrier bearings, carburetor tuning issues. You need to get the carb rebuilt. It's the off season. Now's the great time to take some time and tear that thing apart and make sure you get it the way you want it. Other drivability things could be other suspension components that, they're not bad, but they're just not great. Now's a great time to take care of those next. For example, on the Riviera, I've got the U-joints and carrier bearing I need to take care of. I've got the parts sitting just over there. So now that we've got all the time in the world for winter, we're going to start pulling the U-joints, and those are actually a double Cardan style constant velocity joint. More on that later. The third thing that I'm going to think about when prioritizing my winter projects is what are things that would be nice to have done? What are things that would make the car more pleasant to drive, like getting the heating and air conditioning working? I'm working on that on the Riviera, and that's a long process. And guys, don't be afraid to jump around between projects a little bit when you're waiting for parts. The U-joints and carrier bearing took a little while to get here, so I jumped on the wiring. There's nothing wrong with doing a couple of things at the same time, as long as you're going to get to where you want to go and you're enjoying yourself. That's the most important part. These are our hot rods. These are our toy cars. These are things that bring us joy. We want to make sure that we're having fun while we work on them, build them, play with them, all that good stuff. So those are the three things I think about when I'm prioritizing my winter projects. Safety, does it make it run and drive better? And what are the things that I really want to do that would make it nicer to drive? Guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.